The number of job opportunities posted online for qualified job candidates in the Middle East registered its first negative growth in April since January 2015, according to the Monster Employment Index. The index was down by 4% year-on-year, while showing a 10% slump in new job opportunities compared to the previous month. The drop in opportunities comes as Gulf countries see a slowdown in their economies on the back of prolonged lower oil prices. Monster said in a statement that in the UAE, demand for healthcare professionals was the strongest, while the healthcare industry appears to be the biggest generator of employment opportunities. Monster added that year-on-year, the UAE recorded the steepest rise in employment opportunities compared to its neighbouring countries, with hiring activity growing at 18%. While Bahrain grew at a modest 5%, Oman, Kuwait, Egypt, Saudi Arabia and Qatar have all slipped into negative growth. The Monster survey revealed that the banking and financial services industry was one of the worst performing in April, with a negative 30% growth compared to the same month last year. Employee satisfaction must come first, as happiness is the key to success for any organisation. That's according to Dr. Abdullah Al-Karam, Chairman of the Board of Directors at the Knowledge and Human Development Authority. Dr. Al-Karam's comments came during the inaugural edition of the Executive Development Forum, organised at the University of Dubai. Over 50 representatives and business leaders of different organisations attended the one-day forum, which highlighted best practices and training methods to improve productivity at the workplace. While delivering his keynote address, the KHDA Chairman stated that conventional practices of telling employees or even school children to work hard to become successful should change, adding that happiness has to be a prerequisite. For this to happen, employee satisfaction levels should be prioritised by the HR leaders in all organisations. Dr. Al-Karam's lecture focused around evolving the conventional HR practices in line with the changes faced within the education sector that are led by the different expectations of students. Among the key recommendations included rehumanising workplaces to offer more room for creativity and imaginative thinking, which should eventually lead towards higher levels of motivation.
We are, as an organization, we are only as good as the people we've got to. But we need to recognize that this generation that's coming to us are a different generation. So this generation is not about hard working that lead you to success and happiness. No, it starts with happiness. It's prerequisite to hard working. And this is important to us because the minute the happiness increases, productivity increases according to that. I think, you get to a point where, whatever you do just give you marginal increment, whether it's a company or schools. So you put in so much and what you get out is little improvement. I think the world today is lacking for, okay, why don't we just not just increment exponentially? Why don't we go and ask, what if we do this, and why not we do that? So a lot of new questions is being asked, and I think, we cannot go to the same old checkbox answers. We try to find the new answers for those new questions because they're trying to compete. And many of these organizations are, they need to be aware about the amount of change that's taking place around you. I mean, UAE has been announcing the happiness agenda and, with a portfolio of new minister and whatnot. This is it, the country is changing. So you as an organization, if your rate of change is less than that, this is not a good sign. You have to get on the wagon of happiness because it is a really happy journey.
Abu Dhabi Water and Electricity Authority has invited bids from construction companies to build a 350 megawatt solar plant in the Emirate, according to a report released yesterday by Emirates state news agency WAM. The plant would be the Abu Dhabi Power Utility's first foray into renewable energy. It currently has 11 gas-fired independent water and power projects and comes as the Emirate, which has huge oil reserves, seeks to produce around 7% of its power from renewables by 2020. Construction firms, which had been pre-qualified by the state-owned utility after they expressed initial interest in the project, have been asked to submit proposals for the scheme, including the cost of generating power and financing its development by September 19. The project will be situated at Suwayhan, around 120 kilometres east of Abu Dhabi, with the chosen developer to own 40% of the project and the other 60% to be held by the authority. DP World, in a statement on Monday, said it could buy back around half of its $1.5 billion sukuk offering, which is due to mature in 2017, as the global ports operator seeks to reduce the cost of its debt. Holders of the Islamic bond have until 4 p.m. London time on May 23 to decide whether to accept DP World's offer to buy the sukuk at $10,555, when the face value is $10,000. The firm will purchase sukuk worth up to $750 million, of which there is around $1.42 billion of the issue currently outstanding. The statement added that DP World has hired Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Citigroup and Dubai Islamic Bank to act as the dealer managers for the tender offer.